tell us, your journey, how you procrastinate every night before you go to sleep, just to go to sleep.
Well, it's something as simple as going, just taking a nap. Like you were like, nah, I gotta take a shower. I gotta brush the teeth. And then he started thinking after that, you was like, all right, not even trying. You just be like, hey, I'm just gonna take that L with grace. I'm gonna accept it.
That's like the stages almost. Like make like when you get it when you strike a deal with somebody, you're there and take advantage of that. When something else comes along, you're there and take advantage of it. So that translates to like your business. That translates to like you as a musician. Like, because like literally you can have an email from Jay-Z, but if you're like too busy like effing around, you're gonna miss it and you're not gonna be that star basically. So that's like a super crazy example. Of course, it's probably not like that because of course if you saw Jay-Z, you'd be like, oh shit. But like if you become a reliable person, it's gonna work out for everyone around you and yourself. You'll be proud of yourself for being reliable sometimes. Yeah.
Exactly. Like,
It's Edwin with the Propaganda podcast, and here we're talking with Qaiseer about procrastination, not in the workplace, but in school mostly, probably. And hopefully we can give you some tips and tricks, ins and outs, and maybe a little insight on what you can do about if you have problems with procrastination. Okay, so just hold on for a second. I'll be right there. Let us begin. So we're back again here with Qaiseer, man. Before talking about relationships, but now we're gonna get y'all right. I know some of y'all go to school, so sometimes y'all be procrastinating. Go ahead and tell us your journey. How you procrastinate every night before you go to sleep, just to go to sleep.
nah,
Nah.
because let's talk about it. 'Cause even though it's something as simple as going, just taking a nap. Like you were like, nah, I gotta take a shower. I gotta brush the teeth. And then he started thinking after that, you was like, all right, I'm all nice and set up.
Yeah.
Let me get on my phone. I wonder what's TikTok doing today. What's my friend doing on Instagram? What's the story?
Dude,
What,
yeah.
what am I missing?
Yeah, no, when you brought it up, I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna talk about this because I'm like, I don't know. I mean, of course, like I got through college or whatever, but I'm like a king. I'm a king procrastinator. Like I even know I'm gonna do it. So like even when the teacher tells me something like, oh, it's gonna be due next week, I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna do it like the day before or something. Like I already know I
Yeah,
am. Like there's only been a few times I was like, I'm gonna try to turn it around. It was like, no, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
it never do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you really gotta just tell yourself and be like, hey, you know what? I really wonder how I'm gonna beat myself next time. How can I outdo my last procrastination?
Yeah, right. For real. Oh my gosh.
Like for real, like I really do be like that. But yeah, that's why I really am going to enjoy this topic today, guys, because for one, procrastination is a big thing. Not just when it comes to school, it's work. It's a certain hobby, even if you just want to have fun.
Mm.
And can you believe that? You would think when you want to have fun, you think you'd be on it, right? But nah, you end up still procrastinating.
Yeah. You're like that Drake meme, dude, just thinking about it at the same time. It's like when you're at a party, but then your thing's due tomorrow at 11:59. Like
The deadline. Oh
the
my gosh.
deadline.
Every college mate nightmare. 11:59.
11:59. I remember one
I'm gonna start at
professor.
11:50.
One professor put it at 11:30. She had to push it back 29 minutes because we can't
Nah, I
can't do
know.
that.
Nah, somebody who pushed it back at 6 o'clock. I was like, hey man.
That's illegal. That is illegal,
Right.
bro. You can't do
I
that.
was like, man, can I at least take a nap before? Like,
Yeah.
my teacher said, I ain't dealing with y'all bullshit.
Like,
I'm not. Excuse the language,
oh no.
but I ain't dealing with it.
You can't do it, man. But yeah,
Okay.
so I guess we can start with like I guess some of the reasons or like some of the reasons you see that you think it happens, and we just go back and forth. So you can go ahead. Well, what makes you think? Because I feel like usually when you say procrastination, I think like people always think about like college students, them being in college and just doing their assignment the day before, trying to write a dissertation like 3 days before, and stuff like that. Like that's like my main thing. I don't really. It's not like an adult thing to do. You don't really hear like oh shoot, the doctor had to had to, oh
Yeah,
yo, I was like, hold up, bro, wait up, I was supposed to be working on it, like, nah.
exactly. I don't understand what you're coming from, but I
Yeah,
really do this. There's different levels, different level of procrastination. Because to me,
yeah,
even adults do it. Like, say, once you graduate, right? Say if you have a house, you got to pay bills. You would think because I'm keep putting myself in a higher position of stress, you're going to procrastinate a little bit less. But that's because you really put yourself in a position where it's like you really can't afford to fail. And I think that's what it is.
mm,
Like the more where you believe that you can afford to fail, the more likely you're going to procrastinate because you keep telling yourself, "I have time," and all that. Like the first level is slowing down, and then the second level is, "Hey, I have options.
yeah,
I can do something else over this mandatory task."
yeah,
And then the third is not even trying. You just be like, "Hey, I'm just going to take that L with grace. I'm going to accept it."
that's like the stages almost. 'Cause at first you're
Exactly.
like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get something done, then those days come, you miss those days, and you're just like, and then it comes to the last day, you're like, well, I didn't do anything, so it's like, how much is it gonna cost me? If not,
Exactly.
yeah, if not, it's like, well, I'm just boom, just like that.
Boop. It really is. It's equivalent to like when you're going, damn well you have like $10 to your name.
Hmm.
You tell yourself, "Hey yo, I can really just keep that because I know I am hurting for cash."
Yeah.
But then a little thing told me, "Hey, today I want a cupcake or I want a hot dog from Quick Trips.
Yeah.
Let me go. Let me just go kill myself real quick. Let me just use that up. Let me just use my wallet up real quick." Knowing damn well you not can like you ask your friends, "Hey, you think I should get that McDonald's?" And they'll say yes,
Hmm.
not knowing the situation. Like you purposely try to keep them away from knowing the situation. So they were like, "See, yeah,
Yeah.
see, you're agreeing with me."
Yeah, literally.
And I think that's another type of self sabotage. Let's talk about like when you try to get your friends to try to support your irrational behavior, and then when you do it, they be like, "Hey, I mean, hey, you support. You told me to." It was like, if I knew about your situation, I wouldn't have.
Yeah. No, that's true. No, this has been times you just go out. He's like, "Don't you have like a paper due?" You're like, bro, I don't know." I was like, "What, dude?"
Exactly.
Whatever, bro. Okay. Don't want to do your work,
Exactly.
huh? Yeah, bad student.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think.
Right, bad student.
Yeah, it's weird because like procrastination itself, it has like I don't know if it's like a matter of like motive or like a lack of discipline. Like a lot of people when they give advice about it, they attack it from probably like different angles. Because I think one situation like is based on situations as in like the project at hand. So I mean, if you told me like to work on, well, like if you told me to, hey, I want you to like write this paper and stuff like that. You have like a week and just like 3 pages and whatever. Like I myself, I don't like to write. I don't really like to like write in general. Like even when I wrote for film and stuff like that, that was like only because I like film somewhat. So I would probably not want to care about it until like I have to do it if it was that important to me. But if you told me like, hey, like let's make a film, like let's create something, let's do like a creative project, stuff that I do like on IG or whatever, then I'll be like, oh shoot, like I would actually check back like every few days. I'll check back, do something, check back, do something, and then when it comes to that date, I may not have it done per se, but I'll have like 90% done, something that's acceptable like 95 or something. I know that personally. So I don't know if like something in your brain switches when it's like something that like you're maybe passionate or like to do as like a baseline requirement. But I don't know. Some people, different people are. I mean, people are like different in their own ways. Some people are like really disciplined, which is why they achieve high in school and stuff like that. It's because like when they have like goals, like they set a whole schedule, like have this whole methodology of like doing it on a like consistent basis where it's like doesn't build up all in one day. So I'm not sure. I feel like it's between the two of like it depends on
Hmm.
what you're working on and like your strategy on how to go about working on that. So they can go both ways.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
especially
I've
if
I've
like,
heard things where like the reason why like all these children, well, because people like putting blanket statements, but like I just remember someone saying like all these kids are like procrastinating on their work. Well, it's not like they enjoy the work and stuff like that. I was like, that's very true. But again, there's a bunch of levels you can go with that. Like this can give you the skill and as in to learn how to work on projects in a consistent manner and other stuff like that. So it depends how you look at it.
I think sometimes it's a bit of delusion. It really is, because
Mm.
like think about this. It's like that hey, unfortunately, whether you like it or not, this is the path you need to be successful.
Mm.
And then you have like so many other things that's going in your mind, like, bro, I don't wanna do this. School. Like, you ever like watch one of those movies and the main character's like, bro, like I'm just trying to be in school. Next thing you know, I get bit by a radioactive spider. And I'm trying next thing you know, I'm a whole super Spider-Man type of situation. Sometimes I be really
Right.
feeling like that. I be like, bro, I'm just really waiting. Like I feel like, yo, if I procrastinate long enough before my teacher say I fail, like something is gonna happen to the world, and then I gotta be the chosen one. Like sometimes,
Yeah.
like you just waiting for somebody just to really come save you,
No words.
and
Oh my
like
gosh.
I call it like it's not even like main character syndrome. It's nah, actually I would say it was like you really waited for something to happen that can take you away from this.
Yeah.
That's why some people do things like the easy way out, like one of those get rich quick schemes,
Mm.
because they know that they don't want to do this. It's like delusion. Like, hey, if I can just get out of this, I would. I really would. And sometimes people get into more. They end up trying to like fantasize things instead of reality. Like think of like people who watch a lot of cartoons and TV shows stuff like that. And you're just like, hey, you gotta be doing school, but it's too hard. So you just like, yo, I just want to live in a world where I'm comfortable. So you just put yourself in a position. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it really is funny, but at the same time, it's
That's
real. Because
wow.
sometimes, like, it really is. Because it's just like think of that, or somebody who's like a musician.
Hmm.
They know that, hey, yo, you get a degree, but in their head, it's like, nah, bro. Like, if I can just listen to another bar and then just feel the music. I just need to feel the music hard enough,
Yeah.
and I can be successful. And
I mean,
sometimes that's the case, but it's not always.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, I feel that because people can become delusional. Because like on one part, like a lot of like very successful people, like I have to say it in a different way. So if you look at like mega successful people, like Bill Gates, you're looking at like Steve Jobs or something. Those are business people, but like very high like A-list actors, artists, and stuff like that. Like you're talking about people that do have like a very robust like work ethic. If you're like honest with yourself, like consistency, if that makes sense. Because like I know especially for like artists and stuff like that, like for whatever reasons, like you're not always able to be like reliable. And not to say that you need to be like some hard ass to be going out there trying to like do everything. It's just the simple fact of like making sure you go to work on time. Like if you basically like if you and the other person agree to be at this place at this time, you're there like 10 minutes before, and that turns into like make like when you strike a deal with somebody, you're there and take advantage of that. When something else comes along, you're there and take advantage of it. So that translates to like your business. That translates to like you as a musician. Like, because like literally you can have an email from Jay Z, but if you're like too busy like effing around, you're gonna miss it and you're not gonna be that star basically. So that's like a super crazy example. Of course, it's probably not like that because of course if you saw Jay Z, you're like, oh shit. But like it's yeah, it's that's like the kind of person you have to be. Like you have to be really reliable. You have to be just consistent with like what you're trying to be, because like if I'm like a filmmaker, so if I get an email and say, hey, let's make a film, and if it takes me like fucking 10 days and someone texts me is like, oh, let's do this, I'm like this guy, blah 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 blah, and it takes me like 10 days later and I'm like, oh shoot, let me get back to him. I don't even think he want to work with me because like it's gonna just be this super slow process. You rather have someone like you hit him up and then at least like on that same day you hit him back. It's like at least like he doesn't have to be like the biggest star. It's just somebody that you're just training yourself to be consistent. It's just you meet up with him, you do some work, and then the next person you keep that going, and then now you have like a whole body of works, and then now you're probably networking with more people. Like just answer them emails, take them phone calls,
Right.
Be present. Like I get like people can be like really antisocial too, but it's
Apply yourself.
yeah, apply yourself. Like in a very like just a realistic way. Not to say like, something goes on in your life you can't take, like you can still be human. I'm just saying like some things like when it comes to stuff that you're serious about, then you just want to train yourself to do that, because like some people just have that disconnect. You really want to do something, but you don't have the discipline in order to do it. It's not a bad thing. It just means like when something comes up about what you really like, just put it in your head to be like, boom, do it, boom, do it, boom, do it, and then you're gonna reward yourself like later on and be like, oh, I'm so fucking glad I went ahead and just made those, even though even though if it doesn't benefit you, you still learn from it, but just like
Exactly.
it's that habit you want to get. That's all. That's a very big thing for people, because especially like especially when it comes to stuff like you don't want to do, like you get the whole story, like you're working at McDonald's and you're like thinking to be a superstar or something, like just like at least be like consistent there with like McDonald's, like I get it, like it's McDonald's, but like be there a little bit early. Like you don't want to it's just try to be dependable. If you're just a dependable person, like people want to be with that kind of person. No one wants to be with like trying to work with someone who's like fucking takes them like 20 days just to like get back to them. They're like, dude, we're trying to like do stuff. Like just be on it. That's all.
Okay.
That's
I like
something.
it.
Yeah, and I feel like that could go much longer of a way, because that's something I feel like you can actually work on. Because when it comes to a lot of like, I can only speak for my film. I mean, for my my field. Some people are just naturally gifted, like they're fucking like amazing, but they can have like a piss poor work ethic, and people just don't know who they are because they don't bother to try to make that known.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very unfortunate, but that's like a reality of like how it is, especially in the film industry. Like stuff is happening quick. You need to communicate, you need to respond, you need to find people, and once you do, you guys are going like boom, 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 boom. So
In
yeah.
terms of work ethics, people got to realize like the first step is what works for you, and the step two is what works for you so much that it work for other people. Like say for instance, if I want to spend time with you, right?
Oh my god.
Like okay,
This is
yeah,
10
I'll
minutes.
probably.
Go
You
ahead.
said what?
No, I said I had 10 minutes, but go ahead.
That's okay. We can make it work. But
You're fine.
when it comes to the situation, it's like, okay, hey, can I make my time? Can I manage my time well enough so I can spend time with you? That's step two, where it's like, okay, I'm not doing work ethic just for me, but it benefits the other party as well. And that's true work ethic right there.
Yeah.
Because we are social beings, in terms of connections and communication. Your work ethic has to be strong enough, not just for you, but for other people. Because think about like how many times you want to hang out with someone that they say, "Hey, yo, I'm studying." Yeah, congratulations, you found what worked for you. But in the process of that, you don't get to have those connections, and people think, "Oh, I can just get this money. If I get this money now, I can get friends later, or I can get this degree and you can get this later." Sometimes it's not always the case. Like you got to always try to find a bit of a balance. Don't get me wrong. It's like school and work is more of a priority. However, you don't. Yeah, everything else doesn't have to suffer.
Yeah, because if you become a reliable person, it's gonna work out for everyone around you and yourself. You'll be proud of yourself for being reliable sometimes.
Exactly. Like think of like family. Like sometimes if you want to do certain things, a family could really inspire your work ethic, or can like crash it down. Like there's some people that's like, say if you have parents that's always pressuring you and they're not so supportive, it can make you feel a little bit slow in the head. You realize, hey, I'm not that good enough. And that goes back to what I'm saying in terms of work ethic. You think, okay, I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try because I feel like I'm destined to fail. Like you start you start creating these fantasies.
Yeah.
That's so of where it starts becoming a reality. Or say it's the other way around, where it's like you actually had nothing wrong with your family. It's just that they're always so demanding. Not necessarily like they're pressuring you, it's the fact like like, hey, if they can't get things done, you feel the need that you have to get it done for them. And it's like, okay, now you're like a family man. That's not even like your family, bro. You would think, okay, you got somebody who looks, you got a whole wife, husband, and children. Let's say, no, I got a little sister and a mother.
Right. Just got siblings, bro. They my cheering though.
Exactly. So tell me, like, what's a good solution for that? Like in terms, because I think a family is like a strong one
Mm-hmm.
where like
Yeah, and that falls
sometimes
into like because I mean I would understand it's more so like a poverty talk when you talk about that, but like some people you can't control like obviously you can't control where you're born and the type of family situation you're going to be brought into. Like you don't get a choice in that. You have to just be cross your fingers as a little embryo, as in oh hopefully they're okay. So, but other than
hopefully
that,
they're okay.
yeah, oh hopefully we're rich, bro. Like, but
I won the race, but I
yeah.
don't feel like I'm winning.
Yeah, exactly. I think especially at like at that kind of level, like I'll assume like maybe like you're in a family that's like that has like if there's like internal issues like domestic issues or whatever, obviously like probably like want to seek help because that's a I would say family is very important and like how you the environment that you're in when you grow up and stuff can say a lot about what your future looks like. And not only not just saying it, like this is like statistically proven, like pretty robust. Like
Mm.
very successful people do have roots usually in like very like nice neighborhoods and stuff like that. Of course, there's people that like of course there's like people who came from the hood and like made it up and stuff like that. But the overwhelming majority, if you were to take each person and ask them blah 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 blah, most of them will say they came from a nice neighborhood. Just to just to put that out there because I don't really know that's gonna come up, but
No, that really is true because people
yeah.
don't want to like admit like, hey, you did come from a nice neighborhood. You and some people think they from the hood and they realize what the hood really is.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And because there's
That's a
levels
whole
to it.
other
There's levels.
discussion. I don't need.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like when people think, oh yo, they try to use that as an excuse, like, hey yo, family, it was rough environment. I was like, no, you really put it in your head that it was rough.
Yeah, yeah, because there's places that are actually actually rough and stuff like that, and that's
Yeah.
that's a very interesting conversation there because like being like because I felt like I resonated with some of that feeling beforehand, but like knowing what I know now is like before man it's like I didn't really struggle because like there's more struggle than that, but
Yeah. Like I'm a
again
middle class citizen,
yeah I'm definitely
not
middle
a
class.
lower class citizen.
Yeah, yeah.
And then underneath the
At
lower
the
class
worst,
citizen.
like a lower middle class. That's still like far better.
Yeah. And even someone who's a lower class citizen, guess what? You're still not in the hood.
Yeah, yeah,
A hood is someone who's way lower than a low class citizen. So even then, I'm just like, bro, if you never know what it means to be in like in a shelter home, bro,
yeah. Hmm.
because even people don't realize there's something underneath the hood. There's you really have no home. Like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's always if you ever think you're at the bottom, you think you're in the trenches.
Hmm.
Look down, you are like, yo, somebody's living in hell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's
Yeah,
somebody living in hell, looking at you like, I want to come from the trenches, bro.
yeah,
I'm in
yeah.
hell.
But
So and they,
it's like a matter of like knowing probably like knowing yourself mostly because I feel like self awareness is like a very key thing people really would need because like or being realistic, because dreams and stuff are good and I'm not saying like kill your dreams or stuff but be very realistic with it because
Mhm.
like some I would say like a realistic will look at their life like this. They'll say like, hey, like I started in a family that wasn't so like we haven't been so fortunate and stuff like that. Maybe the best course of action would be like I get like a nice paying job or whatever and try to file out financial aid, get nice degree in something that I feel very like passionate about, like something like some IT some IT thing or whatever to make enough money to like one help out my family just a bit more and to like get somewhere that's much more stable. And then maybe like I like to do like music and stuff while I'm doing that like on the side. Maybe I'll buy a piano, maybe I'll do something small on the side, and if that kicks off then I'll take that. But I'm gonna take this course of action just to make sure like me and my family are good and I have a future for myself. That's realistic. You're still trying to put some of your passion in there, but you won't do this whole thing where like you're in like hell and then you're over here trying to like you don't go to school, you don't do nothing, you're just trying to like make the hardest beat in the world and no one's listening to it and you're like 35 and you're like you're fucking yourself. Like you could have just did some things just to help out yourself at least. And that's just seeing it from like a realistic, like see where you are for real in real terms and then just make a realistic plan on how to get forward and stuff like that. I don't know what that means for everyone, but like I think people should be just a bit more realistic with their with themselves and stuff like that. Because like I feel like when we see the great story of like, hey, this person went out and became like the greatest thing ever, a lot of that not, I mean, not to put shame on them, but like a lot of times there's a lot of things that happen, like either like there's like there's a backing behind that. Like you'll be surprised on how you hear like, hey, you know, their grandma had like $2,000 or whatever, they had a whole
Yeah,
hedge
they never
had.
say
Yeah,
how how much did you. But when
yeah,
you say you started from the jump,
yeah.
what exactly, what level did you start off? Like, did you get a kickstart? Did you get like a
But
running
then
start?
and then they leave out the parts like, hey, like for singers and dancers, they've been singing since they were 2. They were singing since they were 4. They were singing their whole entire life. Like their mom was a singer, their dad was a singer. They came from a line of singers, and then now they're like the
Exactly.
greatest singer. Like
Get a whole legacy.
yeah, and
Like
not to
your work
say
ethic was, I
and
call those in terms of work ethic, I'll call those like your shit was already predetermined. Like you don't, it wasn't, it's not just your work ethic. It's like
yeah,
you have a legacy of work ethics.
yeah.
That's like you have a path for that.
Yeah,
But
it's not
before
to
we keep
say
going,
that
how
it's
much
not
time
to
we
say that
got?
you can't get to that level. It's just understand how and why that person is there, and understand that like, do you know, just you could just ask yourself the question: were you singing since you were 4? Like, you know, there's some stuff like that kind of makes sense, you know.
Yeah.